I'll tell you, I've been a strong advocate of parental rights. That's part of what I ran on 2020. I've actually worked and gotten several policies strengthened for parental rights through the Student Code of Conduct, the F&G. Parents are the first and primary educator of their children. That means the main. They ensure and entrust the local ISDs to build in the collaborative nature with the great teachers that we have. But parents are the primary educators. Parental rights are so important that if anyone's been paying attention, there's a new FA legal, is the policy, it's legal policy out of Austin, that puts all of the parental rights into one thing from not surveying that. So you can look it up if you want to get into the legal stuff. But as a trustee, it's important to know what the law is. And remember, the parents are the customers, that and the taxpayers. We need to be good stewards of that. We need to always respect and invite them in, rebuild the relationships. I've heard that from many teachers off the record, that they don't feel like the parents are having the same access and input that they used to have, especially pre-2020. We need to ensure and build a collaborative relationship. Should never be adversarial, because teachers know what's going on in the classroom, parents know what's going on at home. They can work together for the best for every child, and that's what we need to do. But parental rights are extremely important that we respect them, because they are the customer in the public education marketplace.
I think it's a team. I don't think we can do it separately. I think the parents are the first teacher. I think they know their child better than anybody else. I am a parent and a grandparent, and I see my children at home and in a different environment than the teacher does. The teachers have been to school. They've studied many years in learning about child development or physics or whatever the content is. I think we need both, and I think it's important that the teachers, and I heard that it's different since 2020, and I do think things have changed since 2020. And I think we need to welcome our parents, welcome their ideas. As a principal, I always said, come in and talk, the door is open. What is it that you need from me? I'm not going to promise that the answer will be yes, but I am going to promise that I'm going to listen to you, and if it's right, and if it follows policy, and if it's good for the school and the children, then let's make it happen. But let's make it happen together, not combative, but as a team. I think public school money needs to stay in public school. I think we have an accountability system that is very different than in private school or homeschool. And I think we are accepting of all children. And I also think it's the American way. I think it's what makes our country great, is that we have public school and that everybody's invited.
The voucher piece, the funding mechanism out of Austin, we need to discuss that in detail. The rainy day fund is one way to do it. Weighted enrollment over average attendance, because we have to staff to 100%, but average attendance is about 93%. So you get paid on attendance, not on actual enrollment. They need to relook how we're doing it. It is critical that we properly fund the education. And then the job the board does have, and our responsibility is be good stewards of your taxpayer money. Wants versus needs. We need to ensure that we're being smart with the tax dollars that we do have to maximize every child's learning opportunity.
I would not be in favor of having trained chaplains be a school counselor. I welcome school chaplains into the school as volunteers. I think their presence in the school can have a very positive effect. I have had clergy in my schools that come and have lunch with kids and are buddies with the students and reading buddies and so forth, and it's very effective, I will say. But when it comes to the true job of the counselor, they've had teaching experience. They have to have, it was 3 years, I think it still is, teaching experience, and then they have a master's degree in school counseling. And I think that we need to really preserve that role. If anything, we do need more counselors. You're right, we don't have enough counselors, and counselors do a lot more than counsel. They do references, and they take care of college applications, and they build courses, and there's a lot to their job.
I am on the board, and I did vote on that. And I'm a man of faith, but I voted no. Here's why. very poorly constructed legislation out of Boston, quite frankly. People don't even realize that the chaplains wouldn't actually be able to do their chaplaincy duty if they went into the schools. Our counselors are very important. They have specialized skills that they do. Very deliberately, because reading the law and part of our job is to also understand the law and spend time in due diligence and recognizing we have a very diverse community. We need to do the right things for the right reasons. To me, it did not make sense because of A, poorly written bill, and B, there's second and third order effects to that. If you do it, now every parent has to identify if they want their child to talk to a person, what denominations do you allow and don't. We're going to create huge legal problems and other stuff. We need to focus on educating the children, ensuring that they're learning how to critically think, and sticking to what public education is supposed to be. Go read Chapter 4 of the Texas Education Code. And it really is that focus. So there can always be a conversation that might be revisited, but as written, as done, not good for our district, not good across the state. Chaplains have a very valuable role. Military, I had a chaplain in my unit, came in, different dynamic, different setup. So we have to have a thoughtful conversation. Things tend to get hyper politicized. The way Austin, the legislator, did that, I don't think was smart, quite frankly. It was rushed and it wasn't well thought out of all the implications. But the board chose not to do that. I think we continue our volunteer policy. Of course, they're welcome on campus. As any parent who declares a volunteer, we're not going to say you are unapproved on campus because of a certain religion, whatever. That would be a horrible precedent to set. To say, oh, you're clergy, you can't come on. So we've maintained the policy. We are thoughtful about it, deliberate. We had a good conversation on it, and I think we did the right thing.